And now, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, BRimes.
All right, welcome to the show. Thanks for hanging out with us here on the program. Greatly appreciate it. Captain Will Smith in studio with us. We're going to talk about his successful gala and the money they raised for hurricane victims here locally. Also had special guests from SpaceX. He had some astronauts over there hanging out at Shelter. We're going to have him tell us about that. And we've got Joe Magro as well. Tarpon Solar joining us. We're going to talk a little bit about solar on the second half of the program, utilizing the sun, that photovoltaic energy from the sun to fuel your home and all the electricity that you can gain from that. So we're going to talk about that as well on the program here today. Also interesting, some of the economics behind the Trump tariffs. So we're going to talk about that, break that down a little bit for you here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Feel-good story of the day. Also got a great one. Boy saves his friend from choking at school. And he says, quote, "I just did my thing," which is a Heimlich, So he learns, the kid learns the Heimlich on YouTube, and he saves his kid's life. They got it on video. So pretty cool story coming up. Feel good story of the day on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Quick shout out to our friends over at Brio Tuscan Grill, the official restaurant partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show in Tampa. This is a great opportunity to go out and enjoy the restaurant. It's a great fine dining experience over at the International Plaza Mall. Tuscan experience there as well. Brio Tuscan Grill, delicious food, wonderful ambiance, very friendly wait staff. And we do some of our business mixers there, parties. So if you're a business owner, they've got a whole upstairs area where you can entertain, and a great opportunity to get out, enjoy, and support that local economy. Brio Tuscan Grill, International Plaza Mall. Make sure you let them know the real estate quarterback sent you. All right, a couple of hot listings here from the Consumer Quarterback Show team, Platinum MVP team, that is 221 Howard Drive. Got a beautiful listing on the beaches. This is a $3 million listing. Looking for our VIPs out there, looking for a $1 million home here. 5-bedroom, 3-bath, 3,500 square foot, gorgeous 3-island kitchen with Thermador appliances, saltwater pool, 100 feet of water frontage, and you are just one block to beach access. 221 Howard Drive, Bel Air Beach, Florida. Beautiful property, single-family home on the beaches. Great opportunity to buy real estate. 8107 Sierra Manor Lane, another great listing from the team. This is a $1 million listing, and it has 4 bedrooms, 4-bath, 3-car garage, 2-story, single-family home, 3,600 square feet, a 1.17-acre lot. So you have a large lot here. The roof, a metal roof, in 2023 installed, 65-year transferable warranty on that metal roof, 130 feet of private water frontage, 6,000-pound boat lift, private dock, access to the waters of Upper Tampa Bay as well. Bring your boat, bring your jet skis, enjoy that Florida lifestyle to the fullest, and check out 8107 Sierra Manor Lane in Tampa. You can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com. All right, Captain Will Smith, welcome back in, sir.
Good to be here again, Brandon.
Yeah, man, busy week in aviation, huh?
Oh yeah. It's always busy, so
that's awesome.
Yeah, it was good. We enjoyed it, had fun, had some exciting times there at the FBO at Shelter. So
over at Shelter. So tell us what happened. You had some. So
I'm in the hangar doing some with one of my jets, and I see these like NASA helicopters landing on the tarmac there, and I went into the FBO and saw these guys with SpaceX shirts on. So I was like, okay. And I knew the splashdown was happening that day, but I didn't know when. So I just kind of walked around, talked to everybody, and they were staging for the splashdown, which happened right off in the Gulf of America, right off the coast of south of Tallahassee. Yeah. So we watched that on TV, and they all had gotten on their helicopters to fly out to the boat to land there, because it was a pad, same pad that had the capsule that had the splashdown, and the people that were in the FBO were actually pulling the astronauts out, which I thought was really cool. Yeah. And they, of course, the decompression part of it, when they get back, being in space for so long, your body is now under gravity and not used to it, so they have to go somewhere and sit and kind of decompress and get fluids in them, and then go from there. So it was pretty cool that they actually did it right there where our office is in TIA, right here in Tampa. Yeah. So it was neat to see that and see those guys, and listen to their they were debriefing and just kind of getting ready to it happened right here, in our backyard. So
yeah, that is cool.
Pretty amazing.
And then, the Babylon Bee put out that joke, federal judge orders astronauts return to the space station. It's like, what a great headline,
No,
wasn't it? It's like, oh, sorry. No, that was good. We got to change that. We can't have good stuff happening here. We got to return that. So, yeah, they're trying to
I'm just wondering if they have to clear customs when they're coming in,
Yeah, there you go.
Because we're going from another country to the U.S., we got to go through customs. Like, they're coming from outer space, and they got to go through customs.
What do they have up there? I don't know, man. They got some new stuff, some new weapon systems.
I didn't see any customs agents around, so probably not.
But isn't that great? I mean, it kind of makes you think about Elon. I mean, all the positive things he's doing is, and he started this, this company Tesla. The left is all about EVs and electric vehicles, and then now they turn on him
up and burn them down.
Yeah, they turn them up, blow them, turn them down. And I'm like, and it's just sad because I called a couple of my friends, family members. I said, hey, be careful because you never know. There's maybe some radical lunatics that try to attack you because you're driving a Tesla. A couple of my close family members. We'll leave it at that. But it's sad that we live in America, and the thing is, there's that has this going on. There's funding behind the scenes going on, and I hope Pam Bondi and Dan Bongino, I hope they can really figure out who's doing it, who's pulling the puppet strings behind the scenes to fund all this.
They need to expose all that, and those people need to go serve 20 or 30 years in a federal prison somewhere. They need to, because you don't know, is this really a mental illness, or are these guys getting paid $80,000 a year to create this? This might be a job for them. This might be their income. Go out there and act a fool, and we'll pay you X amount of dollars, or it could be they're just
they're funding it.
They're just crazy.
Very similar to the BLM moments and Antifa moments that we saw when they're burning things down.
I mean, that was
Yeah, but hey, let's send since they don't like the country so much, let's send them down to Cuba, Guantanamo.
I think
that'd be a good spot for them.
Or Central America.
Yeah, exactly. Here's Musk reacting to that. If you look at when you think about that, Musk is reacting. If I can find that clip, which one is that? Guessing it's this
Here's
one.
Musk talking with Sean Hannity about those attacks earlier this week.
Tesla is a peaceful company. We've never done anything harmful. I've never done anything harmful. I've only done productive things. So there's some kind of mental illness thing going on here because this doesn't make any sense.
This week, Attorney General Pam Bondi issued a statement saying the DOJ is treating attacks on Tesla dealerships and owners as domestic terrorism because of their political nature. Bondi says perpetrators will be hit with 5-year mandatory minimum sentences.
5-year mandatory minimum. I like it.
Yep.
I'm all for that.
Mandatory minimums means you don't get out early. You serve your 5 years, period.
Yeah.
And that's on good behavior.
Yeah.
If you have bad behavior while you're there, they can extend it.
Yeah.
That could be 6 or 7.
Yeah, they need it. That's ridiculous. Let's talk about the tariffs also, because while we're on that topic, tariffs have been pretty strong. If you really look at if you break down these tariffs and what's happening and where we're going, I think that's the problem is so many people are short-sighted, especially on the left, what these tariffs are going to do.
So if we look at kind of worst-case scenario for tariffs, as a country, we have about $25 trillion of total personal income annually. We import about $3.3 trillion of goods. If there was a universal 25% tariff on every single good we import, that would equate to roughly a 3% income tax on the American taxpayer. Not fun, but not.
And he goes on. I actually played the wrong clip of it. That he goes on to say how that's barring all other positive things. That's if it's in a vacuum, it's as low as 3% income tax. But the long term effects, and if it's not in the vacuum, is no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, no tax. How's that going to play out, right? Also, the onshoring that's going to be affected. So we're going to have companies. We're already seeing it coming back to the country. And then also the reciprocal tariff should have been in place for all this time, but the Bushes and the Clintons and all the old guard didn't want to do that.
Well, I mean, before the IRS was instituted and before we even had any of that, it was tariffs.
Right.
That's how the government brought in money, was through tariffs.
External revenue.
Exactly.
Service.
Exactly. So it was, the country grew without it, but what happens with the government is they get more and more greedy.
Yes.
They need more.
Other people's money.
Exactly. So they want to take. Of course they want to take from the rich. Well, people that got to where they are, like Elon Musk and Donald Trump, they worked hard to get there. It wasn't given to them.
Right.
They weren't blue bloods. They worked for it.
They innovated.
And they made it happen. And now you've got generational wealth that just wants to keep on taking and taking and taking. And, at some point it has to stop.
Yeah.
We can't keep on giving away to all these other countries and all these other external things outside of the U.S. We got to take care of the U.S. because we know what happens when the U.S. fails. The entire world goes because everything's built on us, and our economy and what we're doing.
Absolutely. Here's the clip I meant to play.
Well, look, I think if you rewind back to Trump tariffs 1.0, fourth quarter of 2018, top to bottom, the stocks fell about 19.9%. And right before they hit 20%, they started to reverse course. And then you fast forward to 2019, the S&P was up around 30%. So what I would say is that when you look at what's going on with tariffs, obviously, it's creating a lot of uncertainty, which is causing a lot of fantastic stocks to pull back or sell off. That's presenting good buying opportunities because when you look at policy uncertainty, which is at its second highest level on record, second to only the lockdowns of 2020, whenever you have a policy uncertainty this high, forward-looking returns in the stock market over the next 3, 6, and 12 months are substantially above average. So
it's the old thing: buy when it's down, right? Yep. You buy when the stocks are down, you wait, you hold it,
and
if you own it, don't sell it because you don't realize the loss.
Yep,
just makes sense.
And that's a long-term investment. That's what I do.
That's right.
I don't sit there and judge what it's doing month to month. I look year to year.
Yeah, you got to be patient. You got to have patient money in those situations when you're looking at that. What's new in the aviation space? When you talk to people out there, they say, "Oh, wow, what's going on with all these crashes and all these near misses?" But really, I've seen some stats, and that's what's kind of interesting about the internet. Sometimes you see certain information, you're not sure what to believe. But aren't the total number of crashes and all that still down compared to 5, 10, 15 years ago?
Yeah, they're still down, but the unfortunate side of it is the insurance runs everything. And because we have had all these incidences, not just privately in private jets, but also commercially on the commercial jets, it's when you have those, you have claims.
Right.
And when you have claims, it affects the industry through the insurance company. And we're now, our insurance company is looking at us and wanting to make sure that we have qualified pilots. We have to jump through all these hoops. And we have to go through all these certifications because they don't want to see these claims. But at the same time, when you have people that have not worked 20 years in an industry, that's the only way you get 20 years in aviation is work in that industry for 20 years. Mm-hmm. And they're putting people in there that do not have the experience flying aircraft that they should not be flying. They also have maintenance crew. They got rid of all the good maintenance crews during the whole pandemic. They forced them out.
Through the DEI policies?
Yes. And now you've got this DEI people that don't have experience working on these aircraft.
Yeah.
That's why you're seeing all these maintenance issues happen. That's why you're seeing these engine flame outs or the wheels falling off or the doors blowing open.
Well, remember the doctor here locally too? He died. He crashed because the ground crew put the wrong aviation gas in, right?
That's correct.
That's crazy to me.
So it's just when you start doing, and I told you this, Brandon, 3 years ago. Mm-hmm. DEI is DIE in aviation. Yeah. Nobody listened to me. Nobody believed me. And I remember on your radio show said it's going to take a commercial accident to kill everyone on board before they wake up. Yeah. And you saw what happened at DCA. Yeah. The very words out of my mouth came to fruition because nobody wants to listen. They want to have their agenda, and now people are dead.
Yeah. Well, I think the voters spoke, and now we're moving in the right direction.
Exactly.
So we are, we're moving in the right direction, and I think, it's interesting to see too. Some of the Fortune 500 companies eliminated their DEI policies, and some of them are staying firm with it. Well, so it's interesting. BJ's, Costco, some of those companies. It's like, okay, well, what's it going to take?
Yeah, well, they'll see. I mean, they'll have to lose everything, but you just got to use common sense, man. In the book, one of my books, I wrote, "Common sense is not so common." Yeah, because people don't use their brains anymore. Yeah, they're led around by their noses. Yeah, and they don't use their brain to say, "Hey, does this make sense?"
Well, that goes back to education.
Yep.
I mean, it goes back to education and how are we. How are we, educating? And that's why Trump's trying to do away with the Department of Education, return it to the states, and the record numbers of parents are homeschooling now.
Yes, they are. I homeschool one of my children. So
I want to get your reaction to this one real quick.
This is a shocking story, everybody. In Deerfield, Illinois, of all places, joining us now is a mother to share a horrifying story. It's Nicole Georges, mother of a junior high student in Deerfield, Illinois. Nicole, welcome to the program. Thank you for taking the time. I want to begin by playing a piece of tape of you at the school board meeting that went very viral. Let's start with cut 120.
My daughter was using the girls' bathroom and was stunned that a biological male student was using it as well. She was told by the administration that a student can use the bathroom as well as a female locker room because they now identify as female. The situation went from bad to worse. A few days later, the male student was present in the girls' locker room. Feeling violated, the girls made the choice to not change into their PE clothes with a biological male student present. The next day, Assistant Principal Kathy Van Treese pulled the girls into their office, questioning them. The same day, Assistant Superintendent Joanna Ford, Kathy Van Treese, and multiple teachers all came into the girls' locker room, making them change into uniform.
Yeah, so, it's crazy to see that this is still happening, even after the election happened. But you've got states like Illinois, New York, the common ones, and that's J.D. Pritzker up there. It's going to take, a major election to have some of these people change their voting habits. I mean, they got to get these people out of office that are allowing this.
Yeah, it's crazy how far left it's. I mean, it's a cancer. We've talked about this before.
Yeah.
If you continue to let this happen and you don't do something about it, when I was growing up, you did something bad, there's action taken.
Repercussions.
Yes, you're punished. And now it's like, well, you just do whatever you want, whenever you want, and you don't have to worry about anything.
Yeah.
I don't see how that makes any sense on any level, in any industry, anywhere.
Yeah.
Because the other countries are looking at us laughing.
Yeah.
And it's really, I think the Democratic Party is not the same party from JFK.
Absolutely not.
The Democratic Party now, they're brainwashed and brain dead.
That's right.
And we just need to eradicate them and start over.
It's tribalism, too.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, their group maintains this communication style or these ideas because they're not courageous enough to change to what we all know is right. There's two genders. You shouldn't have these boys in the locker room.
The whole village is full of idiots.
Yeah.
There's no chief.
That's right. All right. Quick break. More with Captain Will Smith coming up. We got a feel-good story of the day. Boy saves his friend from choking at school, and he says he's quoted as saying, "I just did my thing," which is a Heimlich. So feel-good story coming up as well. We're going to talk solar also later on in the program. Solar technology with Joe Magro. We're going to talk about Tarpon Solar coming up as well on the Consumer Quarterback Show online at consumerqb.com.
Hey, I'm Ken Shamrock, and you're here with Consumer Quarterback Show. And I say, Brandon Rhymes, knock out your competition.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com.
Hey, Brandon Rhymes here. Did you know that we buy houses cash? We will close quickly and give you a fair offer on your home or residential properties, even commercial properties, and we will give you a fair cash offer, close quickly, and be diligent when you're shopping these types of scenarios, because a lot of the wholesalers, the flippers out there, they will sign you up on an as-is contract, and they will shop that contract and try to find a buyer, but they may not find the buyer, and they won't close. So this is Brandon Rhymes, 813-917-1894, consumerqb.com. Brandon Rhymes, we buy houses cash and fast. Attention business owners, did you know we have 100% financing options available? Our No Money Down program offers 100% financing for business owners. If you are currently leasing your commercial space, you can purchase real estate for no money down. Additionally, the program offers money for working capital, equipment, and business fixtures. You can even pay off current business debt. Reach out at 813-917-1894. That is my direct cell. You can call or text 813-917-1894. BRimes at kw.com. And that is our 100% financing, no money down program for business owners. We would love to help you buying, selling, or investing in real estate. 813-917-1894. BRimes at kw.com.
You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
Back here in studio, we got Captain Will Smith. We're going to talk about his very successful gala that they hosted. Shout out to his whole team over there, Erica Smith, Chandler Parker. The whole team put on a great gala over at the airport there, Shelter, the airline hangar, the private hangar there. Super cool. I have a lot of people reaching out. Hey, how can I do a party like that? I'll tell you about that a little bit more off air, but more coming up with Captain Will Smith on the Consumer Quarterback Show. A couple of commercial listings here. I want to let you know about these two listings. 10129 Little Road. We got a chiropractor office that is for sale in Newport Richey. Could be converted, of course, to any type of professional building, business, that is, medical business uses. You got 2,337 square feet, over an acre of land. You got offices, the property style. Chiropractic office on Little Road in Newport Richey, Florida. You have plenty of parking, curb cutouts, great opportunity, ADA compliant entrance, commercial property from the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. 9594 Maricamp Road as well. This one's in Ocala, 5,725 square feet, just under an acre of land. You got retail in Ocala, Florida, commercial property, retail available here. Now, this is a successful hardware store that's been in business for many, many years. You have built-in income as well. There's 2 rentable sections in the back, and also they're renting out some of the land in the back for big rigs to park their semi-trucks. 9594 Southeast Maricamp Road, Ocala, Florida. Great opportunity. You can see all of our real estate listings, and if you're thinking about buying, selling, investing, or refinancing, we would love to talk to you. Stop by our website at platinummvpteam.kw.com. All right, Captain Will Smith, tell us about Will's Way Foundation and the very successful gala.
Oh, yeah. The first time doing the gala, we blew it out of the water. It was just 3 of us, me, Erica, and Chandler. They both did an amazing job. We raised quite a bit of money our first time doing this. You were there. You saw it.
Yeah.
One family, we wrote a check for $13,000, and the other family this past weekend, we just refurnished their entire home. They're down in Sarasota, and they got flooded out. So we want to continue to do this. If you guys want to be a part of what we're doing, we're being very transparent. People know where their money's going. It's going to the families. I've seen a lot of people that collect money for charities, and you don't know what happens after the charity's over. We never hear any more. There's no more follow-up. Bay News 9 has followed up with me. Fox 13 Locals followed up with me. They can see where their money's going. Yeah. If you want to be a part of the movement that we have of helping people, you can go to wwf.tampabay.org. You can donate right there. We ask people, there's a lot more families out there, Brandon, that need our help, but we just need more money to do it. And you can see where your money's going. You know, it's not disappearing after the charity's over. We have the news media involved. We got you guys involved. You can see we got pictures online, so you can see what we're doing to impact our community and saving families and getting them back in their homes. Yeah, that's awesome, man. Yep. Great. It was a good time. You had a great speaker, Brian Stern, who was on the show the next week and had some great stories. I had no idea he actually did a jailbreak in Russia. Yep. He broke people out of a prison in Russia. It's like a TV show. I saw that last night on a TV show. So you had a great speaker, access to the planes. People could check out some of the jets. You had high-end cars, vehicles, great food from catering by the family. Shout out to Juan and his team. But just a wonderful job. I know it's a lot of work putting those together. Chandler and Erica, you guys did a great job, man. Yeah, they worked their butts off. We all did. I give the props to them. We're doing it again next year. If there's anybody out there in your listening audience that wants to be a part of what we're doing and changing lives and helping the community and getting people back in their homes, there's still a lot of people in need. wwf.tampabay.org. Please go online, donate, so we can continue what we're doing for our Tampa Bay community. Yeah. Go online and any private travel, willsmithaviation.com. Check them out online, willsmithaviation.com. And, get out there and support the community, support the local economy by supporting the show. 813-917-1894 is the hotline. You can call or text that line, too, if you'd like to get in touch with Captain Will Smith and or talk solar with Joe Magro as well. 813-917-1894. Coming up, we're going to talk with Joe. Final thought, back to you, buddy. Tampa Bay is a great place to be in, guys. I've been here for over 30 years. When people travel with me, percentage of the money also goes to our foundation. Please check us out. Check out the foundation, wwf.tampabay.org. It's wwf.tampabay.org. All right, feel good story of the day coming up as well. Boy saves his friend from choking at school. Says, I just did my thing, which was the Heimlich. Feel good story coming up. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
This is Warwick Dunn, and you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show hosted by my man, Brandon BRimes.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com. listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rimes. Online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-917-1894.
All right, we got Joe Magro joining us here in studio, tarponsolar.com, tarponslr.com. We're going to talk with Joe here in just a moment. Before we do, a couple of our hot listings. You know, we like to feature our listings on air from the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty, 17416 Magnolia. Beautiful property in Claremont, Florida. This is Magnolia Island Boulevard in Claremont. 5 bedrooms, 3 full bath. You have 2 half bath as well as a 2-car garage. 3121 square feet, 1 acre of land, and it's a gated community with lake access. Professionally designed landscaping, grand circular driveway, pool and spa that features lighting, a waterfall, and a fountain. And it's a great opportunity to buy real estate in beautiful Claremont, Florida. Great little town there in Central Florida. This is primary suite, has custom-built media wall, direct pool access, a cozy stone fireplace, and it's all about the location. This is Magnolia Island, which is a private community with only 30 homes in that community. This is a rare gem at an excellent price. Check out 17416 Magnolia Island Boulevard, Claremont, Florida. A great buying opportunity if you're in the market for a beautiful home in Claremont. 10711 Old Sycamore Loop. We've got another listing here from the team. This one's 4 bedrooms, 2.5 bath, 2-car garage, 2046 square foot single family home at 10711 Old Sycamore Loop in Lando Lakes, Florida. The kitchen appliances are stainless steel. You have glass cooktop in the kitchen. You have a fenced in backyard. Let the kids play, let the dogs run, and the color scheme in the kitchen is lighter colors. People really like the lighter colors. You have tile floor, and the community has a really cool pool. It's one of the 0 depth entry pools, playground, hiking trail, and extra wide paved walking paths. Check out 10711 Old Sycamore Loop in Lando Lakes. Another one of our 50+ listings from the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty, always helping you win in your real estate deals. If you're buying, selling, investing, we would love to talk to you. You can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com. Somewhere sunny and 75. All right, quick shout out to our friend Lee over at Lee's Royal Services. He does a great job cleaning our real estate properties. Lee'sRoyalServices.com, home and office cleaning. He's also a handyman service, Lee'sRoyalServices.com. Make sure you let him know the real estate quarterback sent you. Now, on the exterior of the property, we want you reaching out to our friend Ramin over at HeightsSoftwash.com. HeightsSoftwash.com does a great job pressure washing the driveways, the fences, the property itself, of course, commercial, residential cleaning. HeightsSoftwash.com. Let them know the real estate quarterback sent you. Take them up on those special offers and incentives. All right, let's welcome Joe back. Welcome back in, sir.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. What's new in the solar world?
Well, we're off to a good start this year. Solar has been growing dramatically over the last several years. And the tax incentives are there for homeowners to take advantage of and business owners. And it's really exciting because the people who've gone solar over the last few years, now those stories are coming out. They're telling their neighbors. They're sharing feedback with us about how much money they're saving. I saw a bill today, actually, where the customer bought no energy from Duke this past month.
Sweet.
And yeah, absolutely. And they banked 236 kilowatt hours, which is worth about $30 or so in power. They banked it for next month.
Wow.
So that pushes forward. And so I literally just saw that today. A guy sent it in. The customer was fired up because the bill just went down, down, down.
Yeah, because we're sitting here in March, and you still got more summer months ahead of you. So that potentially is going to increase, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Because you're going into the hot months.
That was February.
Okay, February.
Right? Yeah, that was a February bill.
Exactly.
So now for March, April, May, June, these are the big time months for solar coming up. There's no clouds. It's still nice. There's no thunderstorms coming in. So this is the big time season for it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's really nice when I get a customer come back and send me a text.
I love that.
With how thrilled they are.
Yeah. Super, super story. I love that. And then and you kind of lead into one of my next questions was, what is net metering? You're able to store that energy. So that's net metering in a sense.
Right. Yeah. So that's how I told you about those credits.
Yeah.
So that's what the people call net metering, and the utility has an interconnection agreement that they'll do with a homeowner or the business owner. And so what happens is during the daytime, the solar energy is produced all in about 5 or 6 hours, the most of that power when the sun is really out and above the house. And so there's way too much power coming into the home at that moment. So all that extra power goes out through a special meter that the utility puts on your home, and it counts the electricity not only coming into your house, but going out of your house.
Yep.
And so what they do at the end of the month is they net the difference. That's why it's called net metering. The meter counts what comes in, what goes out, and they net it up. And if, like in this homeowner's example, they produced more energy from their solar power this month than they actually consumed from the utility. And so the utility took an excess power back. And so they get credit for that. And in a month when the sun's maybe not out as much, in the fall, let's say, and you still have your air conditioning going in October, but there's shorter days happening, those credits will then get used before the utility bills you.
I love that.
Yeah. So it's the utility acts sort of like a battery for the homeowner.
Right.
And it's a part of the service that they provide.
I love that. And you mentioned battery. I mean, that's a whole nother. Do you have clients that have the battery packs on the side of the home or garage? I mean, that's really cool too, because you can store it in those batteries.
Yeah,
right?
It's been more and more popular lately.
I love that.
Yeah, so,
I'd love to get something like that on my house.
So the batteries are great because when you have, especially here in Florida, where we have a storm season, and everybody knows what happens when one of those storms comes through. There's parts of the community that'll be out of power for a few days, and parts of the community that might be out for 2 weeks. The people that have that battery system, like a Tesla Powerwall, for example, they can run their whole house on that. And then when the sun comes up the next day, the batteries charge back up, and the house runs overnight again on the battery. So it's not noisy like a generator. It doesn't require natural gas or burning and having the fumes running, that loud sound. It's a clean, quiet way to operate your home. So it is a really nice luxury to have.
Man,
and the neighbors who don't have it are always jealous of the people that
I bet
that do.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, is that technology coming down in price, or is it still a little pricey? I've heard in the past it's a little bit pricier, those batteries.
It actually has come down just naturally, right, from technology advancing. Just like we've seen EV prices come down over time.
Yep.
So there's more being produced, and there's mass production, economies of scale, so to speak.
Yeah.
Additionally, the Tesla battery has an inverter built in, so it actually can act as the inverter for the system and the battery.
Now, what does that mean?
So the inverter is what takes the power and converts it from DC, which is what the solar panels, direct current.
Got it.
And our homes use, the electricity we use day to day is alternating current, AC.
Okay.
So AC/DC, like the band.
Yeah.
That's what it's named after. So the house uses alternating current. So the inverter converts that DC current from the rooftop, from the panel, into a type of power that your house can use. And so since the battery has that integrated, it saves on cost because you don't have to buy both devices.
Right.
So it sort of subsidizes the cost a bit of the battery, so it effectively lowers the price and makes it more affordable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, it's unbelievable too that how technology over time, as you mentioned, the price will get better. I mean, have you ever priced a laptop? Or I walked into one of the big box stores the other day, and I saw a big screen TV. I mean, God, you know how big these TVs are
crazy.
now. It's like the size of the banner behind you. When you look at these big screen TVs, I couldn't believe the price. I don't remember. It was like
72-inch, $400.
Yeah, a few $100s for a big TV. I remember those being thousands back in the day, right?
Right, exactly.
It's unbelievable, the technology.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There was you talking about the TVs. I bought a TV from a guy who was moving out, and it happened to be Greg Zahn, who used to play for the Rays.
Okay.
So a friend of mine said, "Hey, guys, having a moving sale." So I went over, and I walk in, and it's Greg Zahn. He had just retired, and he's got his big plasma TV on the wall.
Wow.
And he had only had it for like 2 years. And he said, "Oh yeah, this thing cost." It was like $3 or $4 grand.
Yeah.
It was huge at the time.
Yep.
And I said, we went to go take it off the wall. These things are heavy. The plasmas, the old ones.
Oh yeah, plasma.
Right.
Yeah,
and I said, "Well, how are we taking this off?" He goes, "I'll get it." And he literally reaches up, like this, to like a 60-inch TV, a plasma.
Yeah.
And he just lifts it off the wall and he just carries it right. That's how strong that dude was.
Had the wingspan to do it. Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, I couldn't carry that by myself. To get my son or somebody to help. There's no way.
You're thinking 2 people, one on each side. He's like, I got it.
Now you get a 72-inch and you can pick it up yourself because it's a LCD.
LCD, yeah.
Exactly.
There's so much. The technology is amazing.
It is, and the same things happen with the solar panels.
Right.
So we now have panels that produce a lot more power per square foot of space on the roof. So that means people can either get more power or they can have a smaller footprint system.
Right.
And because the technology has changed. There's a thing they've done now is just called split cell. So on the big panel that you see on the roof, the big glass panel, those are about 3 feet by 5 feet approximately. That's how big it is. And on there's a number of panels, maybe 60 cells. Sorry, on the panel, there's a solar cell. And a solar cell is the size of a small, let's say, saucer plate, like a teacup type plate. And so they've been able to now, they would put those on, and it needs space in between them for the wires to run, for the power to travel. So now what they've done is they've cut those and put them together like a puzzle where they're all up against each other more closely.
Okay.
And by splitting the cell, they can now get 72 of these in one piece of glass.
Wow.
So that really increases the efficiency, even though they've sort of run into a technology gap of how, making the photovoltaic cell, that small piece, more efficient is very difficult.
Yeah.
Because they've already gotten it really, really far with that technology. But now they're finding creative ways to get more per square foot, which gives you more power on one panel.
Wow. Some good engineering behind that.
So we've really hit a big step up in technology in the last few years. And it might be some time before we have that next step.
Yeah.
But the people who are buying systems now really get that newest technology.
Yeah, it's been a while since you thought about solar, looked at solar. We want you reaching out to the hotline here, 813-917-1894. You can text the word solar as well to 813-917-1894. We'll put you in touch with Joe, Tarpon Solar, tarponslr.com. And Joe, let's give a little bit of background too, and what would that follow-up look like if somebody were to reach out to you?
Oh, yeah. So we'd reach out. We could talk over the phone, or if they'd like to have us come out to the home, we can come out. We'll take a look at their power bill. We'll do an energy sort of audit of their home too, see what they have for air conditioning, insulation, take a look at their bill with them, see what they're paying to the utility, and do an evaluation to see if their house qualifies for the program, and also find out what they're interested in, see how much we can save. Most people can save about 20% off their power bill right now, and then they lock something in and they save so much over the long term because the utility raises the rates every year.
Right.
So you can lock in a price and buy now. You lock in your power cost at today's rates and even lower than what the utility is paying. You're paying the utility. Right. So it's a big win. Most people end up saving between $15,000 and $75,000 over the lifetime of their system.
Wow.
Yeah, and the systems have a warranty for 25 years, so it's built to last.
That's great.
Yeah, so that's what we would do. And we can just answer questions over the phone too if they just have some simple questions, or if they're considering solar and they're looking at a proposal. We always give a second opinion if they want one. Just a free check, make sure what they're getting is the right thing, because we want people to be happy. They don't have to buy it from us, but it's good for everyone if they get a good deal and they're getting the right product for their house, because they're going to have it for a long time. So we've been in this industry a long time. We like to help people out.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. When I talk to sellers, in the real estate space, I want real estate agents to do a good job. I want realtors to treat people right, because it's just those stories that you hear from time to time, and it gives the industry a kind of a bad name, in real estate. And that's why some people are, they're kind of falling for these cash buy quick places and some of these overnight type companies that are, they're there when the market's good and they're not there when the market's bad. You know what I mean? Right. Some of these we buy your house fast type companies. So you got to be careful with that. But I like that idea, that mindset, Joe, to help people with that. Tax rebates, tax incentives. What are you looking at in that space too?
Yeah. So what helps make solar so affordable and achieve those cost savings I just mentioned on the utility bill and your overall monthly operating cost to your house is that the government has a 30% federal tax credit. So if you're a person who has a job or owns a company and you pay federal taxes and you have to, have money taken out of your wages to pay your federal taxes, and that's most people, right? There is this tax credit available. So that money gets credited on your next tax return. So if you bought a solar power system that generated a $10,000 tax credit, You get to apply that towards next year's taxes. If you can't take it all in one year, let's say your tax liability is only $5,000, then you could take it in successive years until you use it up.
Nice.
I'm not a tax professional, obviously, but that's generally how it works. We always encourage people to talk to their tax professional before they make a decision or before something gets installed, so they can make sure they know what the situation is. Some people come back and they say, hey, I can't take that tax credit. I just retired. I only have $2,000 of tax liability. It's going to take me forever to get that credit. Then we will usually switch over and talk to them about leasing the system, because the bank then is the owner of the system, and they can take the full tax credit. So what they do is they create low payments.
That's smart.
It's kind of like leasing a car.
Yeah.
You can get those low payments because the bank gets the full credit. There's no concern over that. The other thing is commercial properties. So commercial properties also can get the 30%, and business owners love this because they also get a 5-year accelerated depreciation on the asset.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So people that own a building, they own a company, they're always looking for an opportunity to write things off as an expense.
Yes.
Right? To reduce their tax bill.
Big time.
So they can take this asset, which might normally on a set of books have a 25-year depreciation, and they get to accelerate it over 5 years.
Nice.
They also get the 30% tax credit immediately. And they also, if they're an economic development zone, which there's pockets of those all over. There's pockets here in Hillsborough, Pinellas. All the counties have pockets. They get an extra 10% bonus. So they get 40%. I've got a client right now who's getting that. He's getting the 40% and the accelerated depreciation. And with his operating cost reduction, he said, oh my gosh, it's almost like you're paying me to put this on my building.
I know, right? Yeah. It's unbelievable. Yeah. The SBA, there's great programs. You can do 100% financing through the SBA as well for buying properties. I mean, there's a lot that business owners can do, take advantage of a lot of different things. When you look at that, the SBA has some great programs. And then, Joe, I'm glad you mentioned residential and solar, residential and commercial solar, that is, with Joe. Tarpon Solar, tarponslr.com. More with Joe coming up here. We're going to take a quick break. Also, our feel-good story of the day. Find out about this boy that saves his friend from choking at school. And he says, I just did my thing, which is the Heimlich. Feel-good story coming up. More with Joe with Tarpon Solar as well, tarponslr.com. Coming up, Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Hey, this is Grant Cardone, and you're listening to Consumer Quarterback Show, hosted by my friend Brandon Rhymes. Do not touch that dial. I'll come right through the radio and grab your throat.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com.
Hey, Brandon Rhymes here for AmericaFirstPatriotStore.com. My wife and I shifted a lot of our buying habits, and we wanted to support companies that support our values, patriotic, Christian conservative companies. And you can find that online at AmericaFirstPatriotStore.com. Now, what you're doing is you're not spending any new money. You're simply buying a lot of the common purchases that you're buying every month for the kitchen, the bathroom, your shampoos, your laundry detergent, all types of great essential oils, vitamins, herbs, those types of products. And for you beef lovers, we have great beef products as well. Tenderloin, sirloin steaks, grass-fed beef available as well. So check out AmericaFirstPatriotStore.com. And I'd love to talk to you if you have any questions about it. There's also a business opportunity there for you as well. 813-917-1894. And thank you so much for supporting our company, AmericaFirstPatriotStore.com. Selling commercial, vacant land, or residential properties? Don't leave money on the table. List with the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. I'm Brandon Rhymes. You can reach me at 813-917-1894. Call or text 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com. That's consumerqb, like quarterback.com. Buying, selling, investing, or refinancing? We would love to talk to you. Thank you so much and have a blessed day.
You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, welcome back. Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show. More with Joe Magro here in studio. Tarpon Solar, tarponslr.com. We're going to talk with him here in just a moment. Feel good story coming up. You don't want to miss that. A couple of hot listings here from our team, the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. We like to help you win in your real estate deals. 1905 Masters Way. We got a beautiful single-family home. This one's in East Hillsborough County, Plant City, 432, 2929 square foot single-family home, 0.38 acre lot with no backyard neighbors. We have a split floor plan, oversized great room, a great opportunity to buy real estate out in beautiful Plant City, Hillsborough County, 1905 Masters Way. 12255 North US Highway 27. This is another vacant land parcel. We've got about a dozen parcels of land that if you're thinking about buying land, we'd love to talk to you. And if it's not one of our in our portfolio, of course, we can search MLS and other places for you. But this one's in Highway 27, Ocala, 3 acres of land. Zoning is A1. You could build your dream home or maybe establish a world-class horse farm. You're close to the prestigious Golden Ocala Country Club just around the corner. Great opportunity to buy real estate. You can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com.
This is God's country. Tell me something good.
All right, here's our feel-good story of the day. A 9-year-old boy, North Carolina boy, Jason Branch, saved his 7-year-old friend from choking at school by using the Heimlich maneuver, something he learned from YouTube. Surveillance footage captured the moment as Jason quickly dislodged the food while they played basketball. His heroic act stunned parents and teachers, turning him from a part-time troublemaker into a part-time hero. The quick-thinking rescue strengthened a friendship that will likely last a lifetime. And there you have it, our feel-good story of the day. I was actually on a field trip one time, and I saw a teacher save another teacher or a parent. We did how a lot of middle schools would do their trip to Washington, D.C., and I still remember that. It's like in your mind. And, so interesting to see that story happen.
Oh, my gosh, it's amazing that he saw it on YouTube and he knew how to jump into action. When I was a kid, I was 8 years old. My brother, who was 16, was babysitting us. My parents were out to dinner. We were having dinner, having hot dogs. Mm-hmm. And I started choking, and I couldn't breathe. I stood up. I was panicked. My brother thought I was just screwing around.
Yeah.
And I was like, showing him the choke symbol or whatever. He was laughing at me. And then when he saw me pushing my stomach against the back of the chair, then he realized it was actually happening.
Wow.
And he had learned in his first aid class in Boy Scouts how to do it. So he jumped up, gave me one big pull with the Heimlich, and the hot dog came flying out.
Oh, man.
And then we went back to eating dinner. Mom and Dad came home. There were no cell phones.
Yeah.
Like, well, Mom and Dad came. You won't believe what happened. My parents were probably like ghost-faced.
Oh, man.
Pale-faced.
Yeah, exactly. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome,
amazing
man.
that he knew what to do.
It really is. It really is. All right, Joe, give us some final thoughts here around solar technology. I love harnessing that photovoltaic energy. I've got 52 panels on my roof. I believe in it. Why should our audience believe in it?
Oh, it's just fantastic. You save money, you help the environment, you add value to your home. So it's a triple threat. And so just want to make sure you do it the right way, get expert advice on doing it.
Yeah.
And like I said, we're happy to help give second opinions or just give you some information so you can make an informed decision.
Yeah. Tax incentives, you're helping the environment, you're freezing, in a sense, your electric bill because you know that these power companies are going to continue to raise. I mean, what do they say? Death and taxes. And the third one could be your power bill is going to go up. Those are constants. We know that that's going to happen. So it makes a lot of sense. Residential, commercial, you're helping people throughout all of Tampa Bay.
Right, exactly. And across all of Florida, in fact, the government is providing a 30 to 40% tax incentive where they're effectively paying for a third of the system for you. So it's really something to take advantage of. Why not? They're offering it. You should take it.
Yeah. That's a win. And I've dealt with your team. Your team is great. I appreciate you helping me on mine, kind of getting re-hooked up because the previous company we worked with kind of left us as an orphan client. So you're jumping in and helping us with that. And,
of course.
And that happens quite a bit, doesn't it?
Yeah, it happens sometimes. That's why you gotta be wise when you pick a contractor.
Right.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. Challenging. All right. Good stuff. Thanks for coming in, man. Appreciate you. Reach out to the show hotline, and we'd love to get you in touch with Joe and his team. Check them out online, tarponslr.com, tarponslr.com. And shout out to Captain Will Smith as well on the front end of the show. And as always, we want you to please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness. Do something kind for one another. Be a force for good in the community. We'll see you next time right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, Consumer QB. QB.com.
You've been listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rimes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Call Brandon Rimes at 813-917-1894. That's 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com. And join us next time for The Consumer Quarterback Show.